Hello, moviegoers, and welcome to another edition of Have You Seen It? I am your host, Denise, and this week I'm going to tell you who my favorite actor is before I get into my review. My favorite actor this week is Clint Eastwood. I have been a Clint Eastwood fan for decades, we'll just say that. Great director. Some of my favorite movies that I've seen him in are, his earlier westerns, but we know that he is quite talented and he has quite a range in terms of the different roles that he plays. So some of my favorites, this is just a small sample. Unforgiven, The Mule, and Gran Torino. That's just a small sample of some of my favorite Clint Eastwood movies. So he is my favorite actor this week. All right, folks, I'm going to jump into my review for this week. And my review is the movie Anora. Okay, so award season is over. I did not get to see this film in theaters, but I did watch it on Hulu. So if you have not seen the movie, it is available on Hulu. This movie got so much hoopla, and I did not watch the Academy Awards, but when I found out that this movie won Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress for Mickey Madison, she also won the Best Actress award at the BAFTAs. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? What is this movie all about? Because there was a little scuttlebutt about the fact that she won Best Actress at the Academy Awards over Demi Moore, who people thought was a shoo-in. So there was a lot of, disagreement with that. But I said, all the more reason for me to check this film out. All right. This movie is about a young escort played by Mickey Madison, and her name is Anora, but she goes by Annie. And she's from Brooklyn, and she meets an impulsive young Russian gentleman played by Mark, and I'm going to spell his last name because I don't want to butcher it. Eydelshteyn. So he plays Ivan, the impulsive Russian gentleman who, comes into the club, and, that's how they meet. And they do what folks do at strip clubs. Now, they say she's in the movie, they say she's an escort, but maybe I just have a different idea of what an escort is, because clearly in this club, she was doing stripper things and, giving lap dances and all that sort of stuff, and then giving extra attention to gentlemen in the VIP private rooms. So, she hits it off with him in that respect. Well, he becomes kind of smitten with her. They kind of exchange phone numbers, and she agrees, yeah, I'll see you again, but you're gonna have to pay me. And he's like, no problem, not a problem at all. So they do have these meetings outside of the strip club at his palatial, and I put his palatial mansion that just blows her away. And it is owned by his parents, but he is in America for a week or so, just staying at the parents' house and just living it up and having a good time partying and drinking and doing drugs and all that kind of stuff. So he becomes so, enamored with her, and, they're having all kinds of sex all through the house. And I don't think there was a room they didn't touch. with their sexual escapades. But he, likes her so much that he, kind of throws out the what if we got married scenario. And of course, she's like, that's BS, don't play with me like that. And he's like, no, no, I like you. Now he's Russian, so there are subtitles throughout this movie because he's speaking Russian. She knows a little Russian, so you've got the subtitles for that purpose. So she agrees to marry him, and they run off to Vegas with some friends, and they get married. They whoop it up in Las Vegas. I mean, they're hitting the clubs, and they're just, having a ball. I mean, just, money is just flying everywhere because he's wealthy, of course. And so she's just living this life that changed for her just like that. Well, of course, this young gentleman has handlers, okay? So by that, I mean his father has hired bodyguards and one particular, I'll say, guardian to just make sure that the son is not getting into any trouble, no shenanigans while he's in America. Well, of course, this marriage just throws all kinds of crap into the wind. And it just creates the biggest problem for him and for Annie, because the handlers at the, they know that if we don't get this marriage annulled and quick before his parents return to America to, collect him, we're going to lose our jobs. We're going to be in trouble. So you have this whole situation where he, once he is, it's come to light that he has done this, you've got the handlers trying to get the marriage annulled. So there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of chasing all over New York, trying to find this gentleman, because once he realizes, oh, they're going to try to ruin my marriage, I'm going to run away. So they spend, all this time looking for him, searching for him in different clubs, and where could he be with friends in different places all over New York. And it's just crazy, just absolutely crazy. I must have heard MF, I'll say at least 100 times. And that's, every other word was MF this, F you this, you're a P, you're a D, it was just crazy. So I don't know why this movie won Best Picture. I really don't know why, because the last hour and change was just a cat and mouse situation of just yelling and screaming. We had profanity, we had drugs, we had alcohol, foolishness, and just absurd situations. And I'm thinking, what is happening here? What am I watching right now? But I stuck through it. This movie is 2 hours, 19 minutes long. Okay, so at that point, I'm like, what the hell? So, if you are into the sex worker scene in terms of you like strip clubs, or you like a little erotica on TV, or in person, you are, that kind of stuff turns you on or whatever, that part might be for you. If you want to watch the movie just for the nakedness and the sex, have at it. But if you're looking for a story with some real content that makes sense, real life, something that is relatable to you, you're not going to find it in this movie. So that is my review for Anora. All right. So I am now going to jump into my Nailed It for this week. And my Nailed It comes from one of my favorite movies, A Few Good Men. And it is the silent drill exhibition, the opening scene of that movie. First of all, whenever I see the Marines with a rifle in their hand, I know I'm going to see some precision. I know I'm going to see something spectacular. And when I watched that movie many, many years ago, that opening scene, I was just mesmerized. And I knew this movie is going to be amazing just on that scene alone. So that is my Nailed It for this week. A Few Good Men, the silent drill exhibition opening scene. All right, folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And remember, we are available on BlueSky at HYSI. All right, moviegoers, you know what to do. Until next week, I need you to see a movie because I'm going to see a movie. Until next week, bye-bye.